Women, we are living in an interesting times. Society, nature, and the way we interact with each other are all changing. There's a quickening, and many of us, more than ever before, are hearing the call. The call from she, the divine feminine, the call to rise fully rooted in the truth of who we are, the call that asks us to trust ourselves. It's the call to trust our gut, our intuition, our pussy power, and our innate feminine wisdom. It's the call to know that when we do, our current, out of date hierarchical structures will crumble. Slowly at first, but they will crumble. Yes, that call. For many, hearing the call will feel like a remembrance, maybe of a past life, maybe of a whisper from an ancestor, maybe of a feeling deep in your bones. Either way, it's a remembrance of who you were before you forgot. It's a remembrance of who you were before patriarchy put all your fears and feminine powers into the darkness, called them taboo, and taught you to be afraid of the dark. This remembrance is waking the witches. Witch, a term that has previously been used to demonize, stigmatize, and repress women, is now being reclaimed. Women across the globe are now actively using it as a way to describe themselves. Yes, in a world where the word witch has previously conjured up images of dwarf-faced old women huddled around a cauldron, the witch has undergone a serious image overhaul in the 21st century. Far from being about practicing the dark art, the modern witch movement is all about female empowerment. Women are gathering in circles, both online and offline, to celebrate the different phases of the moon cycle. They're performing rituals to honor the season and casting spells to heal, to manifest, and to rediscover their magic. The witch is waking. The witch represents the part of each of us that has been censored, ignored, punished, and demonized. And it's a part that wants. No, it's the part that actually needs to be accessed and fully expressed. Why do you think women are fearful to speak out, to be heard, and to fully express themselves? It's because we're fearful of the witch inside each and every one of us. The witch is a woman fully in her power. She's in touch with the dark. She knows how to be the witness, how to let things go, and how to follow her own counsel. Most importantly, though, she questions everything. She's connected, pussy to earth. She hears the whisper of those who have gone before her, and she feels the ancient secrets that are in her bones. She's the one who knows without fail that there's more to this life than actually meets the eye. She causes hierarchical power structures to shake in her awake. She knows that in any given moment she can be a hot mess, a woman of grace and beauty, angry and grief-struck, loved and pleasure-sated, tired and soft, or raw and vulnerable. She also knows that in some moments she can be all of these at once. She's whole. And a woman who's whole, well, she's a really bloody, scary threat to anyone who's not in full integrity, not fully aligned with the truth of who they are and what they stand for. Ourselves and our own delicate egos included, right? The witch is remembering, reintegrating all the parts of herself that have been dismembered to make herself whole again, and rewilding the part of us that was anesthetized, domesticated, and kept numb for food, or by shopping, drugs, and the media, is now awakening in each of us. And it's our wholeness, our intuition, our magic, and our power, the power that lies between our thighs, that will truly change the world. And so, witches, it's time to wake. It's time to remember for ourselves and for the planet. It's time to remember that to be a witch is to be powerful woman in a world where women have, for thousands of years until now, felt really bloody powerless. Which is why, when the modern witch The one who wears dark lipstick and silver crescent moon crown and has a bra full of crystal gets a broomstick, beating from a more traditional witch. I have to call it out. Sure, it might be tempting to write something off as superficial or accuse them of turning being a witch into just another empty consumable fact. But beneath all the glossy packaging is a woman waking to her power. So honestly, it doesn't matter whether you call yourself a witch because a magazine did a 2-page spread inspired by the movie The Craft, or because you're hereditary witch from a lineage that taught you to read tarot, use herbs, and make tinctures for spells. That's what I am. Either way, know this. Calling yourself a witch is a big-ass responsibility. It carries power. Power. S-H-E, power. Reclaiming the word and identifying as a witch will call your power back because being a witch runs bone deep, soul deep. As women, we carry the stories, the pain and the fear of the women who have gone before us. We carry the stories of women who were persecuted, burned, drowned, tortured, silenced because of their power. And we carry it in our very DNA. So waking and reclaiming the witch within us takes really big ovaries. If you want to do this, it takes a womb-deep recognition that you are a woman who is powerful. If you menstruate, you bleed for 5 days and don't die, don't tell me that doesn't make you a superhero. A force of nature knows the ebb and flow of the moon, the seasons, Mama Nature in her own body, and is able to use all of them for good. A creatrix who can manifest and make the magic that's needed on the planet right now. An oracle with seek-like vision, intuition, and foresight. A healer who creates the balm needed to help heal the huge gaping wound that patriarchy has caused. The sorceress who can both charm and be dangerous. It's this simple. If you call yourself a witch, you've got to be ready to deal with everything that comes with it. Being a witch has nothing to do with how you dress, what crystals you use, or what your witch lineage is. Instead, it's about being a woman who can recognize, navigate, claim, trust, and use her goddess-given powers of creativity and manifestation, her vision, her intuition, and foresight, her rhythms and cyclic nature, and her ability to experience fully the dark, to serve the light. And she does it to heal not only herself, but her family, her community, and ultimately, the world. Forget history, aka his story. This is a remembering, rewriting, and retelling of her story. This is the greatest story never told. It's our story. This is a response to the fact that for centuries women have been persecuted for their power. The fact that women like my mama were forced to speak in hostile tones about the magic that they made. The fact that women like my mom who turned their back on their power and gave it away completely for fear of shame and judgment. It's our responsibility as women who live in this time and place to reclaim the power to the word witch and to respond to all that it calls up in us. Are you ready? Then step into the fire, the same fire that was once used to silence us. Let all the fear, pain, anger, and injustice burn. Feel its heat licking at your toes. Now, claim your power and wake the witch. It is time. It's time to gather in circles in order to remember your truth, your wisdom, and your true nature. It's time to trust yourself and to trust each other. It's time to connect with nature, with Mama Earth and her cycles, and with the liminal space between it all. It's time to connect with she, the divine feminine, to remember that she is us and that we are she. It's time to connect with he, the divine masculine, because wholeness is what we're all seeking. This is how it always was. And in order to restore the balance in ourselves and on the planet, it is how it has to be again. Come join me in the circle because, woman, it's time. This is the witching hour.